find yourself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So you're off in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the out pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start dropping. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is enjoying himself watching. And the Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Coming down, does he have it? Look at the Tyson! Haven't got it!
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start chopper. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's gonna do it! Big Barry!
Good evening and welcome once again to Evolution Sim Racing. We're in Season 2 and it's Round 6 live from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And we're here for the Interlagos Grand Prix. We're going to have several GT3 cars bounding around this track in anger this evening for you. Looking very much forward to it. It's a fantastic racetrack, this one. Some brilliant races held at Interlagos over the years, not least this weekend in F1, but there's been some other fantastic races there as well. Kimi Räikkönen, Philip Massa, Lewis Hamilton all won championships here. Philip Massa actually got his taken away within a minute of winning it, actually, if everybody remembers that 2008 drama-filled race. Yeah, I'm sure Timo Glock remembers it because I'm pretty sure he's probably framed a couple of the death threats he got after that one. But nonetheless, it makes for some absolutely fantastic racing this circuit. It is brilliant for racing. It's very wide, lots of places to overtake, very technical, and a lovely infield sector as well with some slow speed corners it's where the laps really won or lost at times here in Interlagos. But it is Stephen Karabelas here on the mic, joined once more by Dean Biggles. And there you have your calendar. We've got Watkins Glen and Silverstone left in the season, and very much looking forward to seeing the final results. It's been a very, very tight championship so far this season. Dean, what are you thinking about today?
Oh, well, it's going to be even better. This is one of my favourite tracks, if not the favourite track in the world. So Interlagos just produces everything. It's a roller coaster right up and down. The elevation changes. The track changes. It's also an anti-clockwise track as well too, rather than the regular clockwise. So that's actually because we'll talk about that with the track corners and stuff like that. I'll give you a lot of facts and figures about this track that I've known because of all the years of casting it with Formula One. We'll quickly go over. It's not a live. We are broadcasting this live, but the race actually has been done due to technical circumstances, unfortunately. In fact, we're even delayed a little bit now, my friend, because of technical Discord issues and things like that. So we're eventually going to get this underway. We do not know any of the results from this. We do not know the results of qualifying. We do not know the results of anything, even though I have everything here. But we don't want to spoil it, do we? We want to have fun. We're going to broadcast this as if it was a live race, and you drivers out there actually get to enjoy yourself being watched while we broadcast it live. Wondering. So no spoilers out there, please. Here's the standings. If you'd like to go over that, please.
Yeah, certainly do. It's Tristan de Brega who's currently leading the pro standings after a P3 last time out in Daytona. The man's been on in immense form. 4 wins out of the last 6 races. Absolutely unbelievable. Aramas Salinskas up into P2 now. After missing the first couple of races, he's had some up and down moments, but a P2 last time out at Daytona puts him right in the mix. Aaron Kirby drops to P3 after holding on to P2 for quite some time. It was a P7 last time out, didn't have the pace at Daytona. And we've got Rhys Saunders, who ended up P16 last week after a couple of incidents. Ewan Stitchbury still hanging on the top 5 there as well in the pro standings. But we'll move swiftly on to the pro arms as well. It's very interesting, the pros, you've got to say. It's still not over yet. Same situation in the arm standings, sorry. It's Matt Barnett who leads the way there by 33 points over Nathan Crook, and Mark Robinson following up in P3, 9 points behind him. John Ludbrook in P4 had a decent time out of it last time in Daytona, and it's Richard Knight who ended up P5 last time out, who rounds out the top 5. Chris H. Keenan missed too many races by the looks of things so far this season, but he's still got time and points available to him in the remaining rounds to catch back up. He had an absolutely brilliant first weekend, and it hasn't just come to him since then, really. Missed a couple of rounds. Turned up for Le Mans and Daytona for the 1 hour races, though, and he's got good results in both of those. So he's still in with a shout. But yeah, it's quite a few points behind, over 120 points. Well, just under 120 points behind Matt Barnett at the moment, who's been in scintillating form, it's got to be said, winning 2 out of the last 4 and podiums in all but 2 races for him. So he's doing very well. Moving on to the Pro-Am category, though. We'll have a look at how things are going in there. It's still all very tight in all of the championships, to be honest. Matt Hyland currently leading the way after a win in Daytona. That's his 4th this season. Scott A. Kostrich is just Mr. Consistency at the moment. He's got 1 win under his belt, but it's those consistent podium finishes I've got him up to P2, with Matthew Jones finishing P8 last time out, dropping a position. Daniel Nans in P4, didn't have the best time out in Daytona, got involved in an incident or two, if my memory serves me correctly, but he has been on the podium quite regularly in the Pro-Am category, and it's Nicholas Newton, the Finnish driver, who finished P4 last time out, who rounds out the top 5. Joe Glass with an absolute terrific weekend last time in Daytona, finished P2. He won the race the week before in the feature race, and he's proving to be a late bloomer here in the Pro-Am category, jumping up a couple of positions up to P6, and could be on for a late charge. Still not over yet, Dean. It's long way to go still in the championship, but yeah, we're going to have 4 races left, so 2 rounds left after today, so not a lot of time, really, not a lot of opportunities for people to do what they need to do.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. We do have the overall, team standings as well to go over, if you don't mind.
We certainly do. We've got Ludcrook Racing, the combination of Ludbrook and Nathan Crook on 629 points. Absolutely dominating the field in the team championship with 64 points. Both drivers, ARM drivers as well. That's a very interesting thing to see, the ARM drivers dominating the team championship. It's Luke Lucchese and Tristan de Nobrega, the 2 South African boys, have pushed themselves up into P2. These 2 guys have been absolutely rapid, fighting at the top end. Luke Lucchese has been involved in a number of incidents this season, though, so he'll be hoping to have a clean one today if he's involved for RDSA Esports, and maybe they can snatch the team championship at the death in the last few rounds as well. We've got Pro GT Sim Racing in P3 for Aaron Kirby and Richard Knight, and we've got Team HYR with Jeremy Ulemans and Matt Barnett. Those 2 having had some very good races this season so far. Glasstech Racing in P5 and Destino Motorsports in P6, belonging to Peter Cox and Daniel Nans. Peter Cox, of course, relative newcomer, did rather well last time out in Daytona, if my memory serves me correctly, but it's always going to be tough here in Interlagos. It's such a tight track in terms of overtakes. If you get one corner wrong, you can suddenly be really stuck in position there and end up having to lose more position simply because you're out of position on the track if you end up getting the outside line or something like that. Just do a quick reminder of the rules here in Evolution Sim Racing. It is a fixed setup for each car. We've got 8 GT3 cars to choose from. We're going to have 2 heat races here, one 20 minutes and one 30 minutes. It is damage on this season as well, as we come through now and see if we can have a look through the championship. It is
Well, this is our grid currently at the moment there, my dear friend.
So here we have the grid then. It's Rhys Saunders in P1, takes pole position with Tristan de Nobrega only 1/100th behind him in P2, so it's looking very tight at the top. Luke Lucchese starts on the second row with Peter Cox right behind him, but is quite a distance behind on the Delta, 4/10 there, the difference. So Ewan Stitchbury there in the third, on the front row of the third row for CRA Motorsports, and it's Paul Cowlishaw in P6, followed by Jeremy Ulemans, Stefan Parkinson, Daniel Nans, Aramas Zelinskas, who's a bit further back than he would like, but he's got the talent and the wherewithal to make his way through that crowd, I'm sure. Aaron Kirby in P11 and Matthew Hyland with another fantastic qualifying for him, P12. It's Brian Demuy in P13 and Jamal Gandua in 14th. He's had an up and down season so far. He's shown flashes of brilliance and also flashes of spins into the barriers as well. Nicholas Newton in P15, followed by Danny Switzer in 16th, Scott Kostrich in 17th, Joe Glass 18th, followed by James Bostock, the boss man, in P19 for Petek GP2, and it's teammate Hussein Sarakar Desla in P20, and then it's Nathan Crook, the first of the AM drivers, gets pole in his class, followed by Matthew Jones, Matt Barnett, Joseph Sparrow, who's quite a long way down, maybe didn't get a good lap in for the qualifying, then Gary Mitchell, Stephen Cakebread, Richard Knight, Paul Robson, Rob Mackay, Richard Gregory, Mark Robinson, Robin Aston, Graham Matthew, Marcus Richardson, Chris Keenan near the very back today, and Gareth Newton. I almost called him Graham there, not sure why, in P36. We are going to have a rolling start by the looks of things. It looks like that's been put into... can't think of the word I'm looking for there. It's been put into the process now after a good result with that at Daytona, and we are away By the looks of it. Oh no,
we're still
gone and then stopped again.
So it's just working working with replay files a little bit different than doing it live, so bear with me. But yeah, that's why I was slowing it down a little bit so we can get through the grid order. Now you'll see that pace car peel in as they're making their way up the hill into the final the final corner, high-speed corner. This one is fantastic, and then the little DRS activation that you're not going to get, no doubt, here in the GT3s, and then make your way down into the center S's. Very far overtaken opportunities. Let's see. This is our first heat. What Reece Saunders can do there, my dear friend.
Yeah, he's maybe the one man on the grid who's absolutely loving these rolling starts, because he really struggled with his standing starts, and he's going for a late one here, and he's got away very cleanly and quickly as well. And Luke Lucchese actually gets the job on P2 of Tristan Dinabrega and gets that position, because Tristan Dinabrega just fell asleep at the start there. And he's got a man on his inside now in the center S's, but he's going to have the inside line for the second part of that and gets the position covered off nicely. But what a start there from Luke Lucchese. Just caught napping was Tristan, and he's going to be under pressure now into turn 4, the S centre. And I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to this. Is he? He's going to get alongside here. Is Ewan Stitchbury? Is he going to be able to make this move around the outside? Doesn't look like he is. Looks like Tristan Brega has defended that one impressively well. And there's Peter Cox behind in the Porsche, looking to pick up any scraps. But it's a clean start so far, but there's a gap already formed there between the two South African teammates. And it looks like Reece Saunders got a nice clean getaway.
He did. He's got up the road, as you can see, a little bit up the road there. So it's perfect to get those race starts. Reece Saunders has been struggling of late, and now he seemed to nail it here in Interlagos. And it's good to see Reece Saunders back into that one, because you know what happened last time. My friend was struggling in the traffic as they're making their way up around the Small Pine Tree Hill. There's the Small Pine Tree. You see it right there. To your right, in the middle of the nowhere. It's even got its own barrier. I'll talk a little bit further about that one too, but it's because they make their way down into the Lago corner, the lake. I didn't know all the corners off by heart, but I do it forgetting at the moment. And they make their way back up to start another lap, and let's see whether or not Peter Cox can get anything down about Stitchbury.
And the biggest loser there from that first lap is going to be Matthew Hoyland. Down in P26, must have got a bit sideways or out of shape in the center S's, and drops down a long way. Daniel Nann's going to be very happy to see that. That means he's got 4 pro drivers between him and Joe Glass. Is odds on to get a very good result here in the Pro-Am category. But Reece Saunders already a second and a half up the road. Luke Lucchese has lost touch with him, and there's now a little bit of a train to Tristan Brega all the way down to P16, Hussein Saracar-Tesla. But it was a very, very clean start here at Interlagos. The name actually means between two lakes in Portuguese as well. So that is the name where that corner name comes from, the lake corner as well. But so far, so good. Everybody's looking to just keep their noses clean for the time being.
Hey, you know it, exactly, between two lakes. Exactly when you know about the rain that happens here. Unfortunately, not in iRacing. Now, this is a great battle that's forming down here with Danny Switzer. Is that a new driver that we have in this series here? Is that Danny?
He's relatively new, yeah. He's only been in the last couple of races, and yeah, it's BMW. Hard to miss with that front yellow bonnet on that BMW. Looking to try and get something done here on the Porsche of Hussein Saracar-Tesla. Not able to get anything done just now. Peter Cox now all over the back of Ewan Stitchbury. Peter Cox, we've seen him in last week in Daytona with that absolutely superb lunge down in turn 1. The man himself even forgot about it when I praised him in the Discord chat after the fact. He had no idea what he'd done. Here's Aramas as well, trying to go around the outside here into turn 1, 2 and 3. The center S's, he's going to get that Mercedes far off alongside. He is going to have a little bit of overlap, but he's going to get his nose chopped off if he keeps it in there. And doesn't seem to get the move done just now. But this is the toughness, and one of the challenges of Interlagos is that if you do get on the outside or somebody defends ahead of you, then the guy behind you may well just see a gap opening up that you maybe didn't want to have opened up. There's Matthew Hoyland off again in his Lamborghini, and that's in the center S's.
Oh, what's happened to Kirby? Oh, there's an accident here as well. So that's Aaron Kirby, and it's Eric Agmas as well. They've come together.
Yeah, something's gone very wrong between those two for sure. And yeah, a couple of people had to slam on the brakes there to get to prevent themselves going in the back of Aaron Kirby as he came back on the track and was very slow. Wouldn't call it an unsafe rejoin, I suppose, but Aramas Linskas definitely got a bit of damage there. He lost his rear wing temporarily, but is back on our screens now. But I get the feeling he's probably going to have to come in at the pits to use one of his fast repairs, 2 available to the drivers. Of course, have a BMW here of Nathan Crook as a bit of a roadblock for the time being. Let's see if Aramas does come into the pits. It's going to be race over if he does, because the majority of the field won't pit at all if they don't have any damage. But if you're off the pace, I think has got some damage to the front of his car as well.
I don't know. Stay out maybe if you've got the pace, because remember you've got to have a reverse grid coming up, so you can try to use that opportunity in the next race. Currently at the moment, Peter Cox still currently running in the P5 position after losing one place to Stitchberry, and they go for it. Reese in the lead there from the two South African duos, who as you can just see down the main second straight away. I like to say it.
Yeah, looks like we've got the old Reece Saunders back now that he doesn't have to deal with race starts. He's taking charge of this sprint race, but it's Peter Cox all over the bumper of the Ferrari ahead of him, of Ewan Stitchby at the moment, but he's going to dummy to the outside, goes back to the inside, but Ewan Stitchby parks that car right in the middle of the road, makes it absolutely impossible to make any kind of move there. You can't make a move down the inside here, and it looks like he's gone for it there as well, when you get a poor camera angle, but he doesn't get it quite done. There, the Porsche man, I absolutely love his livery there on that Porsche as well. Very clean and respectable, black and gold. Very good song that as well. The early 2000s. Maybe remembers that one. More of a pop song. I don't know if that's up your street there, Biggles, but job not done there for Peter Cox, and yeah, he carries on. He's going to have to come back at him again, but look at the kind of speed he gets out of Enquires. This is such an important corner at Interlagos as well. The run all the way down to turn 4 essentially is affected by that corner, and he just doesn't seem to have toe here at the moment. He's going to have to maybe think about it into turn 4. Made famous these days, of course, by the 2021 season between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, where Max somehow avoided a penalty for pushing Lewis Hamilton straight off the track and not even staying on the track himself. But yeah, we'll not get into 2021.
It's called a motor race, Stevie. It's called a motor race. All right.
I mean, in an Australian accent, that's even more triggering, I have to say. But yeah, never mind. At the moment, Peter Cox still unable to get past Ewan Stitchby. And it's Paul Calishaw going past Jeremy Ullams at the moment as well. Gets that move done. Gets a little bit squirrely on the exit of turn 4, but keeps it on track just about. Maybe got an X for that. It's important to remember as well that the X limits 17 for a drive-through, 20 for a disqualification, I believe it is. Same as your usual iRacing races. As we've got a bit of a battle brewing here. Aramas managed to lose out a little bit. Look, that early braking there from Richard Knight just does not want to be involved in that battle, and that almost caused him a problem from the Mercedes behind. There's another beautiful livery there. There's a dive in the background from the Ferrari on that Mercedes as well, and what a move that was by Richard Gregory. He gets a little bit out of shape, the Ferrari in front, and then he loses the position back again because he's just a little bit out of position there around that tight left-hander turn. Which one is that again? I think that's turn 9. Pinierino, I believe it's called. But that's the kind of racing that you do get in Interlagos. It's so back and forward. We saw that, of course, this weekend with the Master of Defence beating the Minister of Defence on the final lap after Perez made a mistake. But what a defence that was from Alonso on the weekend, holding up a faster car for so many laps. Ooh, that was tight. That was certainly very tight. Porsche tried to turn in, found a BMW there, couldn't get it done. But BMW gets the move at Barnet, up past Sarah Cardes.
Brilliant. Good racing up the road there. Here's the boss man. And Matthew Jones in a similar situation, similar corner, overtaking opportunities. Can Matthew get past James, the boss man? We'll see. Get pushed side by side. You've seen before in the past, and even in the Formula 1 game, like I've seen drivers go all the way around this track side by side for practically 90% of it. That's what you feel wheel-to-wheel racing here at Interlagos.
Oh, late move there. Late move, and he gets it done. Oh, what a move there by Matthew Jones. Takes the opportunity there down into the S, turn 8. And that's such a tricky corner to get right, but if you've got the bravery there on the brakes to just send it down the inside there, get to the apex first, great take an opportunity. But like you say there, yeah, It is a fantastic racetrack for racing. Oh, there's contact there between the BMW and the Ferrari of Richard Knight, and it's Nathan Crook, I believe, in the Ferrari, who's come off a little bit worse there. They had managed to keep pointing the same way somehow. Not sure how they've managed to do that. Maybe pushed them back into line, did the BMW driver, but he'll be a little bit disappointed with that one, will Richard Knight, as Nathan Crook is now on his outside, but he didn't really get a move done around the outside there of turns 14 and 15, and he goes go aggressively towards the inside there, and he gets squeezed into the wall. And that's a huge crash. He's spattered back across the track, taking out an innocent bystander in all of that. And honestly, you've got to say that is down on the Ferrari. He saw the BMW go to the inside. He reacted to it too late, and pushed the man. It pushed himself, pit maneuvered himself straight into the barrier, and race over. And somebody else in the background, I'm not sure who it was, who got collected. Their race is done as well, and you've got to feel for them. They had nowhere to go. Suddenly, there was a BMW sideways right in front of them, collects them, and that is big crash.
Yeah, we're four. We have Rob in pit road. You won't see him at the moment because the cameraing. Somebody's cameraing was absolutely ridiculously horrible here. I do apologise. We have Nathan in. You have Richard in. Scotty's in. And it looks like Mark didn't start the race. And Linkus is, I think he's either in the pits or something's happening because we've got a little disconnections and stuff like that between some of the drivers and these files. So as we do experience, unfortunately, when we do have the live races, we get little drivers who blink. When they show a little bit of blinking of death with their disconnection, and all of a sudden the camera has no idea where to point, and then it just kind of goes blank for a second. So that's what it is, but this is not blanking. The battle between these two for P6.
Yes, Jeremy Ulemans and Paul Cowlishaw. And Ulemans has the inside line into the centre S's, gets on the brakes just a little bit later. A bit of a door bang there, but not quite enough overspeed there to hang it around the outside of turn 2. He'll regather himself, but now he's got somebody behind him. It's Daniel Nans, I apologise, who maybe look to pick up some scraps here. Defensive goes the number 231
so
driver.
There's a blink up there too. Sorry, did you see that there from Paul?
Sure, yeah, it's just part and parcel of online sim racing. Unfortunately, you don't get that in real racing, but obviously you don't have to pay for the cars when you crash them into the barriers, as we saw before between Nathan Crook and who was it again? It was. I wanted to say it was Richard Knight, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But never mind. We'll carry on. This racetrack is so brilliant for racing. You're going to see a lot of those kind of moves. You've got to be brave to make a move around here. What do you think, Dean? It's definitely all about the commitment.
You were talking to me in the green room, wasn't it, about Max Verstappen, and you mentioned here earlier, sorry, the broadcast about Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton and the bold and braveness. No, that was actually live in the broadcast. That's right. I was talking about the green room stuff. But yeah,
spin ahead there. Oh, he's managed to save that rather well, you've got to say.
Jones, isn't it? Yes.
What a power slide, yeah. And loses 2 positions because of it, but he'll be he'll be needing a change of underwear, but he'll be very thankful that he didn't end up off the track and into a barrier, or span it back across the track and ended up taking somebody out. We've seen that a couple of times, but we've got a bit of a gaggle of cars here coming down now into turn 1. This is always a recipe for disaster. It's very narrow here with the barriers so close either side. Very easy to make a mistake and end your race. But there's a lap car that looks getting out of the way. I think that was Richard Knight, possibly. Yes. Getting out of the way very early doors. Just doesn't want to be involved in any of that at all. And but so far, everybody goes through in the order they started in. So nothing doing in the end. But there's Stefan Parkinson with Nicholas Newton right behind him as well. Coming round turn 4.
Where's that? I was just wondering, where's Mr. DXT out there? Usually coming in with us for the live chat, but he may not be available at the moment, not depending on the days, of course, of the week, because the DXT Motorsports team is not doing too good at the moment. Matthew's down in P29.
A couple of incidents for him. So yeah, maybe want to if you're going to skip one, skip this one. Is DXT might be thinking, but yeah, maybe just because it's not broadcasting live. Maybe unable to make it, but we still have other people in the chat. We've had hellos from Reece Saunders, Let's Go from CCG Jeremy, and an emoji from
Aaron's
Mr. Stitch
gone.
on YouTube.
There's a collision.
Well. Something big's happened there. That's Aaron Kirby involved again. It's not been his race at all in this heat one at Interlagos, and that's the second incident he's been involved with. There's a few drivers who have maybe not things gone their way. We have got Luke Lucchese and Tristan Zinabrega now back onto the back of Rhys Saunders. So these three guys at the front, incredible pace. They've managed to create a huge gap to Ewan Stitchby behind and Peter Cox, who are still driving around in formation. There's some teamwork there from the GlassTech drivers as Porsche gets past the BMW of James Bostock. Sorry.
Yes.
That's not right.
Well, no, yeah, yes it is. It's James Bostock in the background. There's James. Sorry, yes.
Apologies.
So Joe Glass and Matthew Jones for the GlassTech racing team. We saw the teamwork, didn't we, last week, I think, between, yes, it was, with the RSDA team, how they worked together there to become essentially good blockers and so forth. So it's good to see the GlassTech drivers also doing a similar thing. But these two drivers are kind of lonely here at the moment. You can see they're, I don't know, are they starting to reel in? It's about 1 second gap now to this man, Rhys Saunders. I know Rhys Saunders out there, saw him in the chat, sitting there wondering, I wish I could tell you guys what's going to happen, either that, or he's probably sitting there going, I'm going to close my eyes because what I do next could be something devastating. Who knows?
I mean, I get the feeling that he doesn't have the worst race of his career, because otherwise he probably wouldn't be here watching it back. But that's just guesswork at the end of the day. And yeah, but at the moment he's still got something to think about. Luke Lucchese and Tristan Brega, not slow by any stretch of the imagination, but all three of them are pulling away at a rapid rate of knots from Ewan Stitchby. I imagine Ewan Stitchby has something to think about here with Peter Cox right behind him. These guys were having a bit of a ding-dong battle last time out in Daytona as well, very similar on the pace. And one thing I would probably guess at as well here is that here at Interlagos, the Porsche is probably going to be very OP here, just simply because of the way the Porsche works and how it gets its power down out of slow corners, and how its main real problem, the Porsche, is high-speed corners. It can't really deal with those. It just wants to murder you every time you try and go around a high-speed corner, such as Blanchimont in Spa, for example. And there's none of those here, really. It's very much the infield sector as well, where you gain a lot of lap time, and the Porsche should be absolutely fantastic. So we're starting to see the difference in cars starting to come into play a little bit here.
The BMW here coming into play that we're watching at the moment, Danny. Well, Amiga, are you telling me at the moment that some of these cars are going to handle about as good as a Mercedes did, spoiler alert, for the Brazilian GP?
Well, like Bruno said, it had like a parachute on the back of it, didn't it?
Yeah, Toto Wolff was like, took all responsibility for that and said that car was basically a piece of he admitted it.
I mean, he's been saying that for 2 years. It's about time to fix it, to be honest. Fix your car, as Horner would say.
Oh, no, they've been doing okay. They've been doing okay. With some of the other races, just that one. That, of course they would be back on top. Yeah, couldn't be Christian Horner. Fix your car. Anyway, back to this one. We're just under 3 minutes to go. Rhys Saunders looks like he's okay. They are reeling him in now. So down to about 7/10. Slowly. Peter Cox, on the backs there of Stitchberry. Trying to get the potential P4 that he wants. We're going to be a good way to lead yourself into the next feature race.
Some fantastic defensive driving there from Ewan Stitchby, but the Porsche gets a little bit of an overlap there, but he's on the outside now for turns 6, 7 and 8, and that's no good. I wonder if he's going to maybe try and go for the dive up the inside of 6. I've seen that from a number of other drivers there, but look at that, Ewan Stitchby plunging his car right where it needs to be. We've got another side-by-side battle here between Danny Switzer and Matthew Jones, neck and neck as they come into turn 6, Ferradura. And such a tricky corner to get right, especially side by side. It feels as though there's no space available there, as the Porsche of GlassTech get pushed wide there on the entry to turn 8, and Danny Switzer gets the position in the end. Good battle there between those two, nice and clean and fair. I think Matthew Jones maybe just went a bit wide, just to give that respect, that healthy room and respect to the other driver. Make sure there's definitely no contact. But yeah, at the moment, I wonder if Tristan Nebrega is thinking there in his seat, George Russell style, get him out of the way. I need to get past. This is an issue. I'm quicker. I can catch and overtake Rhys Saunders. And we've only got 1 minute remaining nearly of this race, and these guys maybe not got enough time to catch him at the moment. He's going a bit defensive, weaving a little bit there, Rhys Saunders, as we're coming now. Probably on the white flag lap.
He went off to the other side. He wasn't really weaving. He just went off to the very opposite side there, and just, I don't know, had to get a little bit different. As you can see, There's the lake at the bottom of the hill there. That's where all the water runs off, and it absolutely buckets down raining here. But I don't know if they're just happy to settle back at the moment there and pick that P2. Doesn't look like they're going to have enough time, is it? I think Rhys Saunders is well maintained in this. The only thing is that lap car up the road there, but I don't think...
Is that a switch? I'm not sure if it was. Luke Lucchese went very deep there, and I was wondering if that was going to be a switch between the two, and it is. They are actually racing each other. It's Luke Lucchese behind already. I don't know if that was pre-planned, or whether or not Luke Lucchese just made a mistake. Not very lucky for the cheeseman.
This is a problem, isn't it, when you have your teammates racing so close together? If you make a mistake, you could have both drivers out of the race. So you don't want to be really doing that if you can avoid it. But they're so good, but aren't they together? You said that before in the past. And that's it. The checkered flag's coming out. So Rhys Saunders, bingo, gets it done. He's back. The Team Year 1 driver.
Certainly is. Certainly is, and that's his first win for a while as well. That's his first win since the first week of the season, believe it or not. Such has been his poor luck so far this season. He has got a couple of podiums in that as well, but yeah, the race carries on still. Peter Cox and Ewan Stitchbury fought it till the end. 800ths between the two of them at the line, but Peter Cox still unable to get that move done. Ewan Stitchbury with a masterclass defensive display over Peter Cox. Peter Cox will be no doubt absolutely delighted with the racing itself. There's another photo finish there between Matt Barnett and Stephen Cakebread as well. Stephen Cakebread takes it by 0.04 of a second, and so it's very, very tight up and down the grid. Lots of groups of drivers, but yeah, feature race still to come, and a number of drivers still who haven't been lapped still to cross the line. Graham Matthew and Matthew Hoyland, who had one really to forget the day. 2 incidents in quick succession in the early part of this sprint, and it's not gone his way. Please, guys, if you're out there in chat, please get involved. Get chatting to us. We've got the warm-up now to try and read your messages and things. But yeah, story so far, Rhys Saunders reclaims the top spot for the first time in, 7 weeks? That's a long time coming.
It certainly is. Certainly is. Sorry, I was just having a swig of water as you said that.
Apologies.
Tristan and Luke, they're taking that P2. And the big gap they did is that just those three, just completely in a different class of their own, aren't they? As it is switching over into a warm-up session right now. Heat 1 results are there. Daniel Nance gets it done there for the Pro AM class. And further down, as you can see the great battle between Joe Glass that was occurring. And Danny managed to split both the Glass Tech Racing team drivers. And Matt Barnett, of course, the best of the AM drivers. Usually you see the AM drivers a little bit further up than P17, don't you? But, you can't take it away from them. That is still a fantastic position to be at as I switch over to the next page. Lots of things going on in the background.
Mr. Stitch on YouTube is saying, great drive from Peter. Porsche was incredible in the middle sector, but the altitude just helped the Ferrari's straight line speed. So, yeah, like I was saying earlier, the Porsche is going to be very, very good on that infield section from turns 6 to 12 essentially. That inside part of the track is going to be immensely good for the Porsche, but Ferrari still has its uses. It being so quick down those straights means it's very hard to overtake, even if you do get a good run out of Young Cow. But yeah, Jamal Gandua, P11 for him, not a bad result for his season. You'll be certainly pleased with that. But Aaron Kirby down in P23, big hit to his championship hopes. He did say in previous interviews as well, though, that championship's not really what he's looking at. He's just trying to hang on to those top spots and maybe finish the top 5 if he can. Got Paul Robson there down in P24 for CHR Motorsport as well. But Matt Barnett, P17, he's won it again. That's another win under his belt, his 3rd of the season. And he's got a very good chance here of doing it once more. We're going to have a reverse, I believe it's a reverse 20 grid when we've got so many drivers as well, rather than a reverse 15. So it could be Joseph Sparrow on P1 for the second race of the evening for Team Year 1. And a man could do something with that. He's shown flashes of pace a couple of times last season, particularly. He had a couple of very good races, but it just hasn't come together for him so far this season. Yeah, the big talk point is Rhys Saunders back on the top spot. Jeremy in chat saying, great result. Assuming that's going to be Jeremy Ulemans. Great to see you here, my friend. Please, guys, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons as well. Always helps us all out.
Yeah, just while we're in a bit of a warm-up session, even though we are going to speed it up a little bit, I just have to try to contemplate out of that. We're going through, obviously, Watkins Glen and Silverstone now, coming closer to the end of the championship. Any food for thought out there? Anybody in the chat where you got a chance to drivers for once get an opportunity to give us their predictions? What do you think?
Is that fair? Asking for predictions in a race they already know the result for?
No. I mean for the rest, yeah, for the overall season. That is, you know what I mean? Like who they feel that could be taking the championships in all the different categories. Of course, the pro AMs. Yeah,
it's obviously Matt Hyland leading the championship. The Pro Am could have lost quite a few points there, depending on where Scott A. Kostrich ended up. I'm sure he's racing today. I didn't see his name anywhere, but it could be that there's so many drivers on the grid, which is fantastic from the league, you've got to say. To get such great turnouts every week so far this season. I think those trophies have got something to do with it. There's a sponsor called CAME or CAME, and got some trophies available for the top 5 drivers in each class. So a few of these guys will definitely going at it hammer and tongs for the remainder of this season, hoping to get their hands on a trophy, because I know for a fact that if I was racing in a league and somebody offered me a trophy that I could put on my wall behind me, I would most definitely try my hardest to get a hold of it. You also get a trophy just for appearing in 7 out of the 8 races, but there is a drop round as well, which I believe we may have had applied at some point as well for these points systems that we've got. That's what I was told in the broadcast chat well before the race started. But a number of drivers may be looking at that and thinking, yeah, I'm not too far away from a top 5 finish in my league here. Matt Hyland, though, is going to be disappointed with that result. Matthew Jones and Daniel Nans will be gaining big in the championship there. It's very, very tight in the Pro-Am category, you've got to say. That's the tightest of them all. 29 points separating the top 2. 10 between the P2 and P3, only 6 between P3 and P4, only 6 between P4 and P5, only 15 between P5 and P6, 22 points between P6 and P7. It's so tight, and it carries on all the way down the order. So a couple of good results in the final few races, and this order could be shuffled around massive in the Pro-Am categories. Definitely entertaining.
So we have our grid. Is out for our feature race.
That's not our grid for the feature race. That can't be the grid for
I know,
the feature race.
it's showing us that currently for our grid for the feature race, which is very, very strange.
Well, we'll see if that's the way they start, but I doubt it. I get the feeling that Resorter is going to be starting P20 as he finished the race in P1, and we do have the reverse grid, unless, for whatever reason, they turn that off for this week. Does cause a lot of drama, that reverse grid. It's got the slowest guys at the front, getting the poorest starts at times, and it can cause mayhem, but it's a possibility that it's been removed without us knowing about it, but I highly doubt that.
It may not be able to figure it out, because of the front.
Yeah, just because of the replay thing. Yeah, it might just go by the qualifying regardless.
Oh, now
but yeah,
it's done it.
Hussein Sarakar Tesla, that is going to be in the front row with Joseph Esparra, like I said. So James Bostock starting in P3, Matt Barnett there in P4. Not sure who's actually meant to be Webb, because during the outlap or the formation lap or whatever you want to call it, the run-in for the rolling start, people are going to be jiggling about just a little bit all over the place. Come through 2 by 2. Looking forward to the start of this race. We always see a lot of drama in these reverse grids. I absolutely adore them. I think they should start doing them in F1 now that I've seen it in action here. I would definitely think it would definitely spice F1 up a bit, but it would also cause a lot of incidents and drama, and that's what we want to see as spectators of this sport. Definitely want to see incidents and things happening. We don't want to see a train of cars just driving around a la Spa 2021, the race that never was. But it should be interesting to see as well what Jamal Gandour can do from this position as well. That guy has shown pace when he's been given the chance to, but had such an unlucky season. Waiting for the pace car now to come in as we come now down to, that is the final corner, I believe. That's the exit to jump out. Could be wrong. It's very hard to tell sometimes with the camera angles.
Yeah, but, not the best ones. Yes, it is. You're correct.
Yeah, it is. What a guess. That's all I can say about that. But Hussein Sarakar, James Bostock, teammates as well. We're hoping to be maybe help each other out here for this race start, create a bit of a rolling roadblock. It's also going to be very, very interesting, as it always is, to see Tristan Dunabrega, Rhys Saunders, and Luke Lucchese. See what's going on with them. Where is Rhys Saunders? I cannot see his name anywhere.
I can't either.
Oh, there he is. He's just a different font, just behind in P21 at the moment. But we are underway. Joseph Sparrow's got a good start, and James Bostock gets past his teammate up the inside in the Porsches. And it's very, very tight going into turn 2. There's plenty of people going side by side through there. Some people are going to get compromised with their line because of that, maybe lose out a position or two because of it. But Joseph Sparrow in the pink BMW goes into turn 4 all on his own, no pressure from behind. And there's big action going on all the way down the back of the grid, as you see people going 3 and 4 wide down the back straight. We've got the orange Ferrari of, I believe that's Paul Cowlishaw. I could be wrong. No, it's not Paul Cowlishaw. It is Stefan Parkinson. Almost going in the back of Paul Cowlishaw there into turn 6 as it gets very, very congested up this hill and this corner here. There's a lovely move there from Glass Tech Racing. Joe Glass driver on Jamal Gandua. Jamal Gandua is fighting it back though as we've got more action as Tristan de Brega and Luke Lucchese are trying to make their way through this. This is Luke Lucchese and Rhys Saunders battling side by side now on the infield. And this is going to be inside line here. Oh, he's going to go for a dive there on the BMW in front. I don't think he expected the BMW to brake so early, but he got the moves and he got the car slowed down and was very fortunate not to take the man out in the end. But inside line on that fast left-hander means that he's got no chance of holding onto it. But look at this fantastic racing here from Rhys Saunders. He's used every inch of that racetrack to try and keep Luke Lucchese behind and try and attack Jeremy Ulemans in front of him at the same time. He's got the inside line now on Jeremy. Bit of a door bang there. That was quite heavy door bang as well. That could have been a disaster. Some people are already going to the pits. It's actually Tristan de Brega who's gone into the pits. I'm wondering if that's and his teammate. They're doing the switcheroo. They're pinning early on. There's a big crash there in turn 1 and 2 as well. That's Jeremy Ulemans getting taken out. Got punted from behind as people are all over the shop. People spinning just in sympathy as there's a Ferrari there absolutely backwards there as well. Big drama in turn 1 after the film at the end of the first lap. We've got Peter Cox stuck in the barrier at the moment. We've got Peter Cox there, resets to the pits. A couple of people have reset to the pits, and I get the feeling that that is going to be absolutely huge for Tristan and Luke.
Yes.
They came into the pits, avoided all of that, go for the pit stop. It's very possible that that was a planned pit stop, that they're doing their splash and dash very early on, and now they're going to go to the end from here and try and make their way through the field, gain big positions when everybody else pits near at the end of the race. The mandatory pit stop, of course, in this race, Paul Cowlishaw has come out of that quite unscathed as well, and he's now on the back of Jamal Gandua with his teammate right behind him in Ewan Stitchbury. But Rhys Saunders managed to get through that just about.
Very lucky, wasn't he? Yes.
I mean, he was showing some absolutely epic racecraft just before that as well, in the battle around Young Cow as they were coming out of the infield and onto the back straight, and now he's got a nice bit of room to stretch his legs a bit as Joe Glass is now looking at the back of Stephen Cakebread and get a move done. Is he going to be able to get this done in turn 1? Defensive goes Cakebread. Not enough overlap at all really to get the move done. He's going to have to brake very late, and he does as well. Gets a little bit of overlap, but because he's got the outside line, it doesn't quite work out for him. And you'll have to maybe hope for the run down to turn 4. Bit of a swapper there from the Porsche as well, and that leaves him open now to Nicholas Luton. If I can get that name out, Nicholas Luton gets the inside line, bullies him off the inside line essentially, and just says, yes, thank you very much, I'll have that. And Joe Glass, who got things a little bit wrong, got on the loud pedal a bit too soon out of turn 2, gets a little bit of a swapper, and those are the fine margins in a race like this.
It certainly was, and yeah, once again, that pit stop might have been absolutely brilliant for the South African team. We shall see how that pans out. Rhys Saunders has got a lot of traffic to get through, and but then again, Rhys Saunders has kind of been a bit of a mastermind, hasn't he? Comes in those pit stop strategies in the past, to see if it can pay off for him again. As we're watching this fantastic battle there of Paul Cowlishaw trying to make his way up to the field. I can't show you the gainers and losers, unfortunately, because it's counting it for some reason over, I think, the very first grid position, something that we had. So
that is what it is. We'll have to model through as best we can, but we can't tell a little bit. Obviously, Rhys Saunders up 6 positions because he started P20 and he's in P14 at the moment. Daniel Nance is having a good race, but it's a Pro-Am category where things are really, really interesting. We've got a long way to go, 25 minutes remaining of this race, and we've got 3 Pro-Am drivers in the top 4 positions. Here comes a pit from Nicholas Newton as well. Another driver thinking maybe it's best to go in early, get that out of the way, get a bit of clean track.
Oh, race is going on the inside here. Is he going to pull off a, what was that, Fernando Alonso one year that just took 2 into the first corner of the Center S's one year? I think it was in Formula 1 like that.
I'm drawing a blank personally, but that was a fantastic move there from Rhys Saunders. It showed huge commitment and bravery. He just knew he had the brakes, better brakes than Daniel Nance. Daniel Nance respectfully didn't turn in and close the door on him, because you wouldn't necessarily be expecting a Ferrari to appear from nowhere there. And now he's got Ewan Stitchery in his sights as well, and Ewan put up a masterful defence against Peter Cox, who's nowhere at the moment. He's out of the race, down in P35. Must have been caught up in that. Oh, there's a big crash. That looks like contact between the Porsche Chris Keenan and Gareth Newton, and they both get back going again. It's Luke Lucchese actually got involved in that. That's not going to do him any favours. He needed to have a bit of a cleaner run after the early pit stop. Excuse me a moment.
Yes, not a problem. And here's Richard with his feisty livery. That's not Richard, of course. That's Richard. Yes, sorry. There is Richard and Richard. Yes, exactly. So we both. I kind of figured that one. Just a little bit different in the Battle of the Richards. There we go. I'll get it right eventually.
Yeah, could call it a sword fight. Yeah. We'll not go there. Apologies for that. I am recovering from a very, very nasty cold. I've had it for a week. I just can't shift it. Nasty cough. Which is, By the by, Aaron Kirby looking rather decent at the moment in P12 as it stands, looking on for a good recovery in the feature race here after a poor sprint race. We've got Rhys Saunders getting past Paul Cowlishaw. He also on a charge at the moment. Rhys Saunders is doing an absolutely fantastic job, but we won't know how good a job he's actually doing until he pits and we see where he comes out in relation to Luke and Tristan de Nobrega. Obviously Tristan's going to be his main rival at the moment after Luke's little tiff in turn 4, but another fantastic race here from Joe Glass as well, who's doing so well. P7 overall, and he must be thinking to himself, how am I P7 overall but P4 in class? You would expect a Pro-Am driver in P7 to be either leading it or at least on a podium position, but it's just the nature of these reverse grids. As we're on board here with Graham Matthew in the Audi, one of the few drivers with the Audi. Not the most favourite car, has its problems for sure. There's Richard Gregory getting overtaken there by Richard Knight in the end. Absolutely fantastic livery that. I love
Joe Glass. Some people speak about that. And there's Rhys Saunders. He's going to stick his nose in any time there's a gap car. He will find it. And Joe's just completely moved off the side. He's like, all right, I'm not going to get involved here. Rhys Saunders is charging through the field there. And look at that behind him. Paul's trying to get a nice tow. And that's because Joe actually elected to go on the pit road. That's the reason why he pulled off in there. And here we go into turn 1. This is going to get spicy and dicey as it always does through the center S's. Can they survive?
Rhys Saunders has not only survived, he's taken out Ewan Stitchery. Crossed him off his list as well, and there's a bit of afterdash from Paul Cowlishaw. It looked like he actually drifted wide on purpose there, a little bit into Ewan Stitchery. Didn't want to give him a good run at all, and gets the move done. And now Ewan Stitchery's got another car up his inside. That is Jamal Gondua, who's trying to get the move done in turn 4, but maybe a little bit too cautious there, a bit slow on the loud pedal, and Ewan Stitchery managed to hold on to that position, but he lost at several just before that. And just because Rhys Saunders bullied him off the line in turn 1 and 2, and that caused major problems for him. It's going back to that what I was saying before about if you're out of position, it causes you major problems with the tightness of this field. Short track as well, so you're always going to be next to somebody with close to 40 cars on the grid. And this is a tasty battle that we're seeing brewing here with Jamal, Paul, Rhys, Stephen and Matt Barnett just up the road as well. The Am driver in P5 overall, absolutely smashing the Interlagos race week this evening is Matt Barnett. Could be on for a double win in the Am category, and that will cement his lead over that championship very strongly indeed. He has a Rhys Saunders on Stephen Cakebread, and the man is just, it's like watching Erling Haaland play football, or Lionel Messi. It's just unbelievable. You can't quite believe what you're seeing at times. Let us know in chat what you guys think of Rhys Saunders' performance here so far. Hope it long may it continue. I don't know if it's even possible to commentator's curse retrospectively, but I'm going to give it a good go.
He's slicing through the field there, exactly. He knows it, because let's have a look where his main opponent is, of course. Here's Tristan, all the way down here, currently at the moment in P18, but remember they made a pit stop. But look what Tristan has to get through up the road now. Look what he has to get past, and oh! And that's Richard. So very, very lucky to get involved in that accident. That's a bit of a scary moment, and that's Richard's gone back to pit lane there for a tow. He probably figured there's way too many cars to wait to get around there, and
Sometimes you just have to look at the position of the car and where you're pointing, and you're pointing, 45 degrees back towards the track. It's going to be very difficult to get the car turned around in time there with the amount of traffic on track at the moment. Here we've got Jamal Gandour, Stephen Cakered, Paul Cowlishaw going at it, and Stephen Cakered's lost it, taking Jamal out, and they're both off the track and into the barrier, and that just looked as though it was driver error there from Stephen Cakered. I don't think he was contact, but to make the spin happen, I think it was just lost traction on the rear end as he got onto the gas pedal, and just nowhere for Jamal to go. He can't disappear out from that position. There is Scott Costeridge. He is in the race as Jamal does get going again, and he's now involved in a heavy little group here of 6 or 7 cars now.
Look at this. Look what Luke has to come up with. He has to get past all this somehow. It's costing him so much time at the moment. When you've got Rhys Saunders, has got it's got a little bit of a gap. Rhys Saunders got a couple of seconds up the road, so he's got clear air to get on with this. And here's Luca got somewhere. He's got to get past this huge amount of cars, all different classes, of course. He's going to be sucking up the inside there. There's going to be almost no room. Luckily, he push him back down to the pit road and crash into the entrance. And maybe Luke can get him into the turn 1 here if he fully commits down there side by side. None of the other drivers are yielding. Stitchberry with him as well.
He's going to get the Porsche as well. What a move by Luke. The Porsche went a bit deep, blocked Ewan Stitchberry's line, and that did not go well for Ewan Stitchberry either, but it just opened up there for Luke Lucchese. He got Paul Robson and Ewan Stitchberry in one move. There's Tristan De Brega getting the move done on Richard Knight as well. Very tight as he moves back in behind into the slipstream. Is he going to go back in him? No. He's going to brake very early. He just doesn't want to be right behind. I've done that myself. You don't want to be right behind the car in front because you're not sure where they're going to brake. You want to give yourself that bit of breathing room. Also gives them something to think about. There's a dive from the BMW in the background there as well. That's Scott Costeridge trying to take on Richard Knight there in the Ferrari. He doesn't get it done just now, but Scott Costeridge, P16 at the moment, quite a long way down. He needs to take advantage of the problems that Matt Hoyland is having down in P24. He needs to get through these groups of cars and get a good points finish here to try and close that gap in the championship. Here's Hoyland himself with Matthew Jones on his outside as they come down now to Young Cow, and I absolutely despise this corner as a racing driver. That inside curb is a bit of a mess. There's a bit of contact there, gets away with it. Aaron Kirby getting a bit involved. It's Nathan Crook actually, who's come from nowhere actually to actually challenge Matt Barnett there. So they were actually fighting for position and in their class as well. And they've got a couple of pro drivers. We've got Aaron Kirby in the mix as well, hoping to just not get involved. Going very wide there is Nathan Crook, I believe that. Sorry, that's the BMW of Nathan Crook. Yes, it was. I got it right the first time. And we've got Hussein Sarakar Desler looking to try and catch up at the back of these guys. We're starting to see, but James Bostock, Danny Switzer, done an absolute fantastic job. I think Hussein Sarakar Desler has had an incident somewhere or a mini spin of some description to end up back in with these guys, because he was up in the top 3 a moment ago. Rhys Saunders already P4, all over the back of Danny Switzer as well, looking to get yet another overtake done. The man has got so many overtakes done. It's hard to believe that he's got anybody left to do it to. Mr. Stitch on YouTube says Stitchby already pit a couple of laps ago. Rhys didn't overtake him. That was his teammate. Yeah, apologies then. So it's very difficult to follow up with everything that goes on. Yeah, so many drivers on the grid.
36 drivers on the grid, exactly. It's a lot of work, and there's a nice little clean overtake for Rhys Saunders, makes his way up into currently P3. Remember, these drivers still yet to make pit stops. First of the pit stops has to be Tristan, as Kirby heads in. Now Tristan's down here in currently in P12, make that P11 as he'll pass pit road and take that position away from Aaron Kirby. So he's got a bit of work to do, hasn't it? He's got quite a bit, considering what are we looking at, a gap between himself there and Rhys is going to be very, very interesting. Let's have a look at the group tower real quick. Maybe that'll give you a bit of an indication there. Kind of won't actually, because it only shows you the gap between the two drivers, not the overall gap. I'll show you the overall gap actually. There it is.
Gap to lead is what we're looking for. It's 20 seconds. Yeah. Sounds not enough, to be honest. This is one of the longest pit lanes in motorsport here in Interlagos. You've got a long exit, especially, but you are at full speed for that exit, and you get a shorter line as well as you come. You basically skip turns 1 and 2. But Nathan Crook and Daniel Nancy are battling out.
Saunders goes past James, the boss man, Didn't put up a fight with that one because James realizes, hey, I'm in an AM class and I just need to be racing my own race at the moment because he's battling it out with Danny, of course, in their class. And there's Danny splits up and they still once again need to box. Who's already made a pit stop from the AMs? You'd have to go down to Mr. Nicholas here. So Mr. Nicholas is the first of the AM drivers. The Pro AM drivers. I get it wrong. That's the silver class you see there on the timing tower. So he's made his pit stop. So if you're going to look at that one too, the gap, you'd have to put in their category. Bingo would be, there it is, 27 or so. It's hard to say that one too. As Daniel Nance has gone in.
Very, very hard to tell at this stage. We've got to wait for those pit stops to come in. We've just passed the halfway point of the feature race, though, and it's still anybody's guess what's going to happen here. Joseph Sparrow's done a fantastic job to hold on the lead, but now he's got Rhys Saunders behind him, and he's closing in that 1.2 second gap very rapidly and swiftly as well. But they've also got to worry about Tristan de Nobrega, who's up to P10 already and has a pit stop out of the way as well, and very good possibility that he can go to the end with that as well. His teammate, Luke Lucchese, didn't quite get the things all his own way, got pushed wide in turn 4. Nicholas Newton going back to that man there, the Finn as well. Up and down season for him so far. He's got P14, P7, P1, P11, P2, P16, P7, then P4, and now he's looking at a top 10 finish at least at the moment for this feature race. But he definitely has pace. We've got Tristan de Nobrega saying, hey guys, in chat, welcome Tristan.
Yeah.
Absolutely loving it, watching you so far. Please, no
Tristan.
spoilers, guys.
Right here, there you are, Tristan. Hello, wave to us, please. G'day. Just looking at the battle that was occurring a little bit further back behind you, that was just, there's your Karabel car there of Gary Mitchell, we haven't really seen. So Joseph will headed down into pit road. We are, 17? We're getting close to the 20 minutes. Just shy of over 10 minutes to go on this race. That's where you start seeing some of those drivers do it. You've got to be thinking about Rhys Saunders leading this race at the moment. Let's have a look once again to the gap. I'm just curious about this one. Once again, Tristan, you won't be able to tell us. You'll be certainly knowing it. And the gap, of course, between him and Tristan. 17 seconds now. It is coming down. Rhys Saunders has to be kind of thinking about that with his engineer going, all right, how much more time can we afford to lose here? But this potential pit stop battle is going to be interesting. And Tristan, I'd give credit to you and your teammate. I don't know how well you planned that one, but I'm sure you were aware later on, if you weren't, that when you came back into the pit stop, just before that big pile-up, wasn't it, in the turn 1? Both of the drivers did.
Waving like a bad man, he says. Did you see me? Well, it's got Mr. Stitch on YouTube, who I've only just realised is probably Ewan Stitchbury. Mr. Stitch?
Yes,
I didn't think of that earlier, so welcome, Ewan. Great to have you here. He says, Staff Greg makes great racing and a tough job for the broadcasters, handling it beautifully, though, so thank you very much. I will definitely hand you that brown envelope later on today. But, yeah, we've got big DRS trains, you want to call them, really, but obviously there's no DRS in a GT3 car, but the tow in these cars is absolutely immense anyway, because they're actually like driving a brick through the air. Not very aerodynamic in comparison to open wheel racing, but so that means the tow is all the more powerful. You've got to be within 1.5 seconds to feel any effects, but 1.5 seconds is a very minimum effect. It gives practically nothing. You need to be really within 1 second of the car in front in the GT3 class to really get any kind of benefit. But in order to make an overtake here in Interlagos, you probably have to be within 7/10 or so coming out of the young cow, unless you can get a very good run through turns 1 and 2.
I was looking
down to turn 4.
So I was looking at Tristan's time as he crossed the line, 1:31.9 and 1:32.12 for Rhys. So that's even more time he's taken out of Rhys Saunders in that one as well.
Yeah, he's got the pace here at the moment, does Tristan as well. And interestingly, we've just created a battle here with Luke Lucchese and Joseph Sparrow as well. Joseph Sparrow pit early from P1, but Luke Lucchese pitted practically lap 1, and he's now right behind him. So that little incident for Luke Lucchese hasn't really damaged him too much. He's obviously going to maybe take away a possible podium come the end of the race. 10 minutes remaining on that, as he's going to go for the move here, as the field does go wide into turn 7, and he gets that easy as you like down the inside into turn 8.
I'm going to be looking forward to this, how it's going to pan out, obviously, for the pit stops, because we do know in the past, as we're seeing, Daniel Nance, I think, has gone around. Yes, he has. He's come together is that with Matthew Hoyland. He has another race that Matthew's not going too great here for the driver. Has been performing quite well this season, and luckily they didn't get too much time lost per se.
Danny Svitzer now comes into the pits as well. We're going to start to see people coming into the pits much more commonly now, but we have got 4 drivers out of the race so far. It's Peter Cox, Aaron Masalinskas and Stefan Parkinson out of the Pro category, and it's Rob Aston and Richard Gregory out of the Pro-Am category. All of the Am drivers still running. That's interesting though, because there are a couple of fast repairs available to the drivers. I'm surprised that they haven't continued after an incident. Well, I saw Aaron Masalinskas getting spun around, and Peter Cox, I imagine, got involved in the big turn 1 incident. As Mr. Stitcher usually would say, Stitchery is me indeed. Great to have you. Scott Kostrich, though, not taking advantage of this these problems for Matthew Hoyland either. Something's gone wrong for him. He's got his stop in, and he's in P24 as well, behind Matthew Hoyland as it stands at the moment. So it's kind of blowing things open a little bit here in the Pro-Am category. James Bostock could be on for another win. I think that would be his second. He won in the first week at Brands Hatch. Got a P2 in the first race, a P1 in the feature race, and now he's back on form. He's had a P3 a couple of races ago, a P6 at Daytona, and he's odds on for the win here as it stands at the moment. I don't want to curse the man, there's still a long way to go. 8 minutes left on the clock, and he's still going to make a stop as well as Danny Svitzer behind, and Nicholas Newton, Joe Glass, all have made their stop. So actually, maybe once he's made that stop, he could be losing out. I tend to find that we saw in the first season here, Dean, as well, everybody pretty much did the same thing in the first season, didn't they? They ran the tank dry, did the splash and dash at the end, and then came out and did a little sprint at the end kind of thing. And now everybody's not so sure on that. Rhys Saunders has really shaken up the meta with his OP 200 IQ strategies.
Yeah, maybe we're going to see about that. I'm actually very curious to know, because Matt Barnett's gone in. Where's Matty? Here he is. Now, he had a, a 36-second gap to his closest rival in the AM class. That's going to give us an indication, isn't it? Where's Nathan? There's Nathan here. Oh, he's not going to be able to get out in time, is he? Matt Barnett's still in pit road. And there comes Nathan. And that will put Nathan into the top there currently at the moment of the AM class. So that's a good indication, isn't it, of the time that you're going to take. And where did... Sorry?
He was stopped a long time for a splash and dash. I'm wondering if maybe there was a hint of some damage, maybe, that he needed to get a little bit repaired, but fast repair should take care of that. Not sure, but we are seeing lots of action in the pit stops. Hussein Sarakar, that's coming for his second stop, so is Gareth Newton. I imagine they had to come in early for a quick fast repair, and just want to see exactly where Rhys Saunders comes out with his strategy and how that's going to work. I've got the feeling that Tristan de Brega is going to take it.
Yeah,
he's going to get this right.
For sure, isn't it?
He just had longer in clean air, didn't he? He had longer in no traffic. Rhys Saunders stayed out in that traffic, had to make the overtakes. That obviously slows him down a little bit, whereas Tristan ended up the back of the field, made a couple of overtakes, got involved in some traffic, but did that himself anyway. And then a huge gap opens up when everybody in front of him pitted, and he didn't have to. He just got everybody in the pits.
I'm wondering real quick there as well too, if Luke is even going to pass him here. So both of the South African drivers could get a 1-2 here.
Possibility. I mean, but based on what we just saw from Nathan Crook and Matt Barnett, he could end up down in P14 or something, because the gap to the leader is, 34 seconds for Aaron Kirby, 35 for Brian DeMuyen. We saw that erode very rapidly between Nathan Crook and Matt Barnett, but we don't know the actual situation and whether or not he maybe had to take some extra fuel on board. Maybe he didn't fill the car up as much as he could have at the start of the race. Maybe he took tyres, because who knows why. I can't think of a reason why you would. But here's Eunice Dishby. I'm going to look at the inside here on Joseph Sparrow, who you've got to say he's done a fantastic job, given the tools he was given at the beginning of this race, starting on pole. He's got his pit stop out of the way.
Here you are, Mr. Stitch.
In a good spot.
I'm going to say commentary on how you get the job done here. Oh, if he does, yeah, no, he hasn't got it done yet. Racing.
Definitely wants it here, does Ewan. He's poking his nose anywhere he can stick it in, and he's just trying, I imagine, to put the man off, put Joseph off, get him to think about his mirrors instead of his corners and apexes, which is how you win a race and how you win a battle. But look at that defense there, and he's going to try and go around the outside. It's not going to be possible to do that. He's going to get pushed wide straight away and then not be able to get it done there. It's just an impossible place to go around the outside unless you've got, I don't know, a different car or something, much more power. But here, the Ferrari is going to come into its own down on that back straight. Paul Carshaw pits from P2. Interesting to see where he comes out. that might give us an indicator of how everybody else is going to come out in terms of Resawners. He was 3 or 4 seconds behind, I believe, when he came in. And it looks like Tristan's got him.
Already got him already, yeah. And then so will Luke.
Now Ewan Spitry, though, he's going to make this move into turn 1. Is he? He's going to have the overspeed. He's going to try and squeeze into the inside. He does squeeze into the inside. And that is a hard-out break there from the BMW driver, Joe Sfara. He just looked at his mirrors too much. He didn't close that door hard enough, did he, really? He should have slammed that shot. He shouldn't have allowed any opportunity down the inside. And Ewan Spitry just saw, I can see a Ferrari-sized gap. I'm going to put my Ferrari in it.
Good job. Very good job there. So be proud to watch yourself on the James Parfitt Broadcasting Network. Well, a live race for us, of course, but you already know the results of this forever. You get to see yourself, of course, perform the overtake, as in what we get to see you when we are broadcasting races. So, other battles that are occurring, of course, is there it is. Joseph's now back, obviously, after the overtake there. See if Joseph may be able to come back at it. It's not over yet, of course, until Barney's waving that flag, but we are getting down to the business end of this one. Reece Saunders, he's starting to put in some purples here, and he's got in pit road. That's the reason why. He's giving it everything he possibly can. Now, where is James? Is at the moment. James still yet to make a pit stop, all right, and that's a separate class anyway. But there is Tristan. Now you still see in pit road the #1 dot. There is Reece, still in the pit road. Frustrating. He's going to exit the pit road right now. Here it is. Let's see if the blimp can give us any indication of where they're going to come out.
This is going to be tight.
There's Reece.
I think Tristan's going to get him. I think he's going to get him because he's going to have such a better run earlier on the power compared to the pit lane exit.
But what about? Oh,
and yeah, Tristan does get it. I think Luke Lucchese, though, won't. But Reece Saunders possibly is going to have to do some work now. He's got 3 minutes. It's too little, too late, isn't it? I don't think he's going to be able to close that gap in 3 minutes and get the overtake done. Tristan Dinnebrega just too quick.
And you know what Tristan also did there? So to cut you off, he set the fastest lap on that last lap. So he also gave everything he possibly could to make sure he did have enough time to cover off Reece Saunders, which he absolutely did, because look at that, Reece Saunders 1.7 down the road. And that's unusual.
Yeah.
Usually Reece Saunders is the one that does the mastermind strategy, isn't it? For the pit stops,
Certainly is.
but didn't kind of pay off on this one.
Given the idea to Tristan, and he's used it to great effect here. And I'm thinking that maybe Reece Saunders thought he would have been a little bit closer than the 1.8 with only 3 minutes to go. There's only going to be a couple of laps remaining. It's not going to be enough time for him to close that gap. But Luke Lucchese, I don't think he lost 7 seconds in the incident that he had where he got pushed wide in turn 4. It's a possibility that he did, but I don't think he would have then gotten Reece Saunders anyway. But yeah, we've got a battle here between Jeremy Ulemans as well. BMW gets up the inside of the other BMW, and now he's got a caramel Porsche in front of him. And hoping to make his way past that. As Gary Mitchell ahead of him at the moment. Daniel Nans not had as good a race in this heat that he did the first one. Danny Svitzer is going to win by the looks of things the Pro-Am category, and in some style as well. James Bostock pitting late, ends up P8. He's going to get a P2. Nicholas Newton with it on the podium position as well. Could very well get very good points here as well. That's going to shake up that Pro-Am category a little bit. For sure, Matthew Hoyland, Scott Kostrich, Matthew Jones, all missing out on good points. A couple of the guys in P4, 5, 6 maybe gaining on those a bit. That's going to blow that wide open. It's already the tightest championship in the league at the moment, and this race is just going to mix that up even more.
I could see Paul's trying to get past Daddy as well too, but Daddy's not giving up too much, actually, more than anything. So great job there for Daddy. Fantastic job actually for Daddy, because overall this weekend on both races, it's showing he's did a 12th place gain. It's absolutely fantastic, and at the moment he's holding off Paul. You're kind of thinking Paul's always a driver that wants to get into your tailpipe, and there he is in the background. They got a bit of traffic.
Oh, something's happened to Reece Saunders.
Yes.
He's got off.
Oh,
he's down at P3. Luke Casey's gone through, and now Danny Svitzer's right on the back of him, and Paul Cowlishaw's there as well. That could be big news for Tristan Dinbrega's championship, because that's points lost for Reece Saunders when points are hugely important for him at the moment. It's Tristan Dinbrega leading the championship by 52 points over Aroma Salinskas. Reece Saunders down with P4, a good 90 points behind Tristan Dinbrega. So Tristan Dinbrega may well have. You're not supposed to drive into that wall.
No.
Oh, sorry. I'm not sure what he was doing there. Did he not see it coming? That is an odd one. I'm wondering if he was just following the guy ahead. Got a bit
Oh, this is dangerous, isn't it, for Danny? Daddy's here at the moment, so yeah, it's probably a good idea to allow Reece Saunders through there. Don't want to get up too much of a fight there. Paul, you got to be thinking now. You can't really be messing around. Now you've got to get past Daddy. This is the last lap of the race.
Certainly is. This is going to be the battle that we've followed to the end. We've got Tristan de Brega coming through the infield just now. We'll go back to him as he crosses the line. But this is the battle of the ages here. Paul Cowlishaw, we know how aggressive he can be, and he'll want this point. Even well,
there it
he's
is.
going to take it now. That's for sure. Inside of turn 6 and 7, and down into turn 8, he's got that inside line. He's going to have that. Don't think Danny really wanted to fight there. He was probably bricking it the entire time he was in that little battle there, thinking, please don't take me out. Is that Nicholas Newton in there in the background as well? Got a bit out of shape, but not sure if it was. But that means he drops down to P4 out of the podium positions for this one, and loses out to Joe Glass. Joe Glass gaining a podium position on the final lap. Here's Tristan de Brega though. It's another win. It's his 5th win here in Evolution Sim Racing, and he's done it brilliantly as well. He's done the Reece Saunders essentially. He's even slowing down on the line. He's had so much time.
What's
does
a
he have?
photo finish of his teammate?
Did he give it to his teammate?
No. Look at that. I was going to say he shouldn't. Remember, we did hear from the drivers that they are going to be battling each other in the championship, so they're not going to be just yielding like that. Maybe if you get down to the very final race or something like that, there may be a switcheroo or something like that. But yes,
some donuts here from Tristan as well. Absolutely fantastic performance from him once again. He is unstoppable in this Pro Championship at the moment. Reece Saunders having too many issues so far this season to really compete. He's missed a race, of course. P16 in Daytona really hurt the man. He could have gained big positions had he had a better result last time out. But let's have a look at Luke Lucchese, who comes home P2, and that could be big points to the team championship for those South African boys as well. Paul Cowlishaw gets P4. That's a good result from him as well. That's his 2nd best result of the season. And Danny Switzer wins the Pro-Am category. I believe that might be his 1st win of the season as well. James Bostock with another P2. He's come back after not ending up on the podium for a couple of weeks. And after a couple of poor runs in rounds 3 and 5. 5 was Le Mans as well. Nathan Crook actually won the ARM category as well. I think he managed to get the undercut as well. Matt Barnett was leading the charge in the AM category, and Nathan Crook has just stolen it from nowhere by the looks of things. But Nathan Crook, 33 behind Matt Barnett. It's not going to be enough to overtake him, but it definitely puts the pressure and swings it his way for sure. Let's run through the results then. It's Tristan de Brega for RDSA Esports Racing. The number 270 Ferrari driver wins another race, 5th of the season. Luke Lucchese comes home P2, and that's what is that in terms of his results? I think that might be his joint best result. P2, his greatest result as well. I get the feeling that he's living in the shadow of his teammate a little bit here, Mr. Lucky Cheese. And it's Reece Saunders there in P3 with a late mistake that cost him the P2. He'll be gutted about that. Paul Cowlishaw with a solid race this evening here in the feature race gets P4 with Ewan Stitchbury finishing P5. Danny Switzer wins in the Pro-Am category with James Bostock in P2, and Joe Glass gets the podium at the death over Nicholas Newton. It looked like Nicholas Newton had a bit of a tangle maybe, or a swapper coming through turn 6 and 7 on the final lap. Matthew Hyland did recover quite well, so did Matthew Jones as well, to P45 as well. It's Jeremy Ullman's down in P15. Not gone well for him this evening in the feature race. Daniel Nans as well will be disappointed with his result. They're down in P16, but it's Matt Barnett P2 after Nathan. Oh no, could have sworn I saw Nathan Crook's name higher earlier, but Matt Barnett does win the AM category.
No.
So apologies for that. That's my mistake. But Richard Knight P2, good result for him, and that equals his best result of the season as well for Richard Knight, and his 3rd podium of the season as well. So Richard Knight still there, still banging in consistent top 5 finishes. Could well be a dark horse for that championship come the end, but he's got Matt Barnett to challenge with in the BMW. Nathan Crook finishes P3 in the end, and no Ludbrook. So it could be that the team championship is going to go over to the South African boys as well, and who can say that they don't deserve that as well after the results and performances they've been putting in so far this season.
Big name, of course, that was missing on that list of the final race, of course, was Zelinkas. last year's season champion. That's missed a couple of races, of course, back in it, and this time it goes 0 points for the feature race. As Tristan says that, watch out for Luke at Watkins Glen.
Possibility that the number 2 driver of the South African RDSA team, I'm sorry, look, I don't mean it, is maybe got more pace at Watkins Glen. It's definitely one of my favourite racetracks. Great racetrack for the GT3s as well. Lots of places you can get some racing done, but it can be a bit of a train at times as well. I'm really looking forward to Silverstone. I've never seen GT3s, other than in real life GT3s, race around Silverstone, so I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, what an exciting Interlagos race it was. There was a lot going on there. Hard to figure out what was going to happen there. And yeah, Tristan Zebrega, though, fantastic work from him. He's done a fantastic job, and he could be running away with his title now.
Yeah, yep. And Tristan knows he's got a big smile on his face. He probably had a big smile on his face watching this. Once again, a pit stop strategy was just timed perfectly, wasn't it, at the start there? Because I just imagine what could have been if they did stay out there for that extra lap there and got involved in that huge turn 1 accident. And I think that Reece Saunders just managed to sneak through there, but a couple of other drivers got caught into it. So being in the right place at the right time is always where you want to be. Early pit stops as well too paid off, didn't it? Because if Reece Saunders as well having to stretch it out, they caught him slowly per lap. And then towards the end, he unfortunately lost the pace that he had, dominating pace that he had, doesn't it, in the first heat race. And after that, it's just that strategy went wrong. We don't know exactly what happened because we can't show a replay from the replay, unfortunately, of Reece's mistake. But he's still got a podium at the end of the day, and that's still better than nothing. But isn't it? The RDSA team are looking super, super strong. As you said, we're going to Watkins Glen next week. This week, actually. 2 days.
Well, yeah, 2 days' time. Yeah. So, yeah, I imagine a few of the guys have done some practice already. That's why Tristan knows that his teammates are going to be wanting to watch. But yeah, very much looking forward to the finale, the penultimate race next. The Silverstone GP is coming up fast. And I think the pro category, with only 4 races remaining, that's 200 points available. And with the jump that he's taken over Aaron Masalinskas and Aaron Kirby today, Tristan Zebrega looks like he's going to be in with a very good shout at winning this championship before this is done. Obviously, the drop rounds are going to come into effect as well. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting come for the pro-am standing for sure. Those guys are so tight, and it's trying to figure out what's happened there in that standing after this race is going to be, you're going to need a PhD in mathematics or physics or something like that, figure that kind of thing out, because Matt Hyland, Scott Kostridge, Matthew Jones, not really having the day to remember today, and Daniel Nans as well, also missing out. But James Bostock gets another P2 on the board. And Joe Glass with another podium. 3rd podium in a row for him. He seems to have found some form.
Yeah, I'd be keeping my eye out on Mr. Joe Glass of recent form. He said so. Look at that. Look at the stats and the numbers there. I mean, they just can't almost get any better. He did finish in this last race overall 3rd in class, so he's actually dropped a little bit per se than won the 1-2 from the last week, but still there, still an improvements from the 18th, 19th, and all that sort of stuff that you've seen at the very start of the season. So that will be it. I have to say there again from what was certainly an interesting race on one of my favorite tracks. Any other final words there, Steve?
No, one of my favorite tracks too. But yeah, looking forward to Watkins Glen in a couple of days' time. And yeah, we'll see what more comes of this exciting championship. But for now, bye.